Breaking. Enters. Lagos panel sails Nigerian army. Police shot live bullets, killed Lekki Toge's protesters while singing national anthem. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. It also concluded that the deliberate absence of officers of the Nigerian army who were present at the Lekki toll gate who was summoned by the panel was a calculated attempt to conceal material evidence from the panel. Now the news in detail. The Lagos State Judicial Panel on EndSARS on Monday submitted a report to the Lagos State government in which it clearly found that Nigerian army and police fired live bullets at peaceful protesters at Lekki toll gate last year. It also concluded the deliberate absence of officers of the Nigerian army who were present at the Lekki toll gate and who were summoned by the panel was a calculated attempt to conceal material evidence from the panel. The panel was inaugurated on October 19, 2020, to look into complaints of citizens against human rights abuses by the police. Following the incident at the Lekki toll gate on October 20, 2020, the terms of reference of panel was expanded to cover that incident. The panel sat well over 1 year and took testimonies of petitioners, witnesses, experts, and lawyers. In its report obtained by Sahara reporters on Monday, the panel found from the evidence of General A.I. Taiwo, Commander 81 Military Intelligence Brigade, Nigerian Army, Victoria Island, Lagos, on pages 6, 7, 21, 22. The panel found that both blank and live bullets were fired by the Nigerian Army at the Lekki toll gate on October 20, 2020 for the following reasons. Apart from the military men in uniform, the army left its base with vehicles, rifles and guns, which contained both live and blank bullets. General Taiwo admitted at page 22 that the army went to the Lekki toll gate with live ammunition. As of October 30, 2020, when the panel visited Lekki toll gate for its on-the-spot assessment, it was still able to recover 2 bullet shells, which were duly analyzed by the forensic experts hired by the panel, Sentinel, who is very familiar with weapons used by the Nigerian army. These bullet shells were said to be the same or similar to the ones normally used by the Nigerian army, and they were expended shells, meaning that they were fired live at Lekki toll gate. Petitioners and witnesses appeared before the panel to give vivid accounts of shootings by the Nigerian army into the crowd of protesters. The panel filed testimonies credible, being eyewitness accounts, and would ascribe probative value to their testimony over that of General Taiwo, who was not physically present at the Lekki toll gate. The panel finds as credible the case of the EndSARS protesters that showed that shot directly at protesters at Lekki toll gate on October 20, 2020, as confirmed by Lagos State ballistic expert Willie Harry on page 244, that some video evidence indicates instances where troops were seen to be rearming their weapons before either discharging them to the air or purposefully in the direction of the protesters. The panel believes that the deliberate absence of officers of the Nigerian army who were present at Lekki toll gate and who were summoned by the panel was a calculated attempt to conceal material evidence from the panel, and verily believes that their presence would have damaged the case of the Nigerian army. The panel finds the evidence, presentation and reports of the ballistic expert engaged by Lagos State as too general and unrelated to the specific evidence before the panel on the Lekki toll gate incident. The third report was based largely on extraneous materials that were not produced or tendered before the panel in order to determine their source or relevance. The witness admitted that he did not work with any document or video admitted before the panel. He did not speak with any of the protesters or petitioners, the doctors on the pathologist, or indeed any other relevant witness known to the panel. On injuries from Lekki toll gate, the panel finds that the testimony of Dr. Babajide Lawson of Reddington Hospital as to the nature of treatment offered victims of the Lekki Tollgate incident in relation to gunshot wounds, which were high-velocity entry and exits, all indicate injuries from military weapons. Consistent with the bullet shells recovered by the panel during its visit and the witnesses that testified before the panel. It also finds corroboration of the case of gunshot wounds in the testimony of Dr. Aramolete Ayobami of Granville Trauma Center, where several victims of gunshot wounds were treated comprehensively and discharged. The testimony of the ex-SARS protesters, especially Ms. Sarah Ibrahim, Mr. Oniliowo, legend, Ms. Dabira Ayuko, Ms. Kamsi Chukwu, all of whom were personally present at the Lekki Tollgate on October 20th, as to the fact that the Nigerian Army shot live bullets, video evidences of casualties, fatalities, etc., all lend credence to the fact that the Army shot at the protesters at the Lekki Tollgate on October 20, 2020, which resulted into death and other physical injuries. It noted that General Talwe was shown video clip 2020-1A0131 of HQ81 Defile, where protesters were shouting that the Army had shot and killed. The panel said they admitted seeing someone lying on ground with what looked like blood, but stated that the video was fake when he did not produce his own original video on behalf of the Army. The testimony and report of Professor John Obafunwa, a forensic pathologist of Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, showed that 3 corpses were deposited at the mainland hospital, Yaba Hospital, all from Lekki Tollgate, and the autopsy conducted thereon revealed death from bleeding caused by penetrating object or rifled weapon. The panel found the fact of lack of identity of some other 96 corpses on the list supplied by Professor Obafunwa would not obliterate the fact that some of them could have come from Lekki Tollgate incident of October 2020, or that some other unidentified corpses may have been removed by their families or the military, as claimed by the NSAS protesters, far and beyond the list tendered by Professor Obafunwa. The panel finds that most of 96 causes for which autopsies were conducted by Professor Obafunwa remained unidentified, but they were labeled with NSAS, apparently lending credence to the case of the NSAS protesters that the shootings by security agencies resulted in mass deaths. The panel finds the matter of the occurrence of the incidences at the Lekki Tollgate did not present proper procedure of condoning of the scene